Hey guys, Fight Kitties here. I'm Lexi, and it is time for Kickass and Coffee. Alrighty guys, we don't have Lady J with us here today, but don't worry, we still got a lot to catch up on, and I think we should get started with some Fight Buzz. So, WWE superstar Big E broke his neck on SmackDown this past Friday, where Ridge Holland delivered a belly-to-belly suplex to Big E at ringside. So, in the process of the New Day star, he landed on his head and was later diagnosed with 2 broken vertebrae. Yikes. And always looking on the bright side of things, Big E sent out a very hopeful message to the world after learning of his diagnosis. And here's what he said. He said, "Good news, all things considered." He said, the C1 and the C6 are fractured. I don't really know where those are in order, but I'm sure if you look it up, you could figure it out. And he says he doesn't have any damage to his spinal cord, which is good. There's no ligament damage. No surgery is going to be needed, which is awesome. And WWE's Hall of Famer Diamond Dallas Page has also now taken to social media with his own heartfelt message to Big E following the unfortunate situation. And he basically offers Big E to stay with him when he finishes up his rehab for his neck. So something other WWE stars have also done in the past. And so this is what his tweet says. "After last night's #SmackDown, my heart goes out to my brother. If you need me, I got you. After Ciampa and Ivor got with their broken neck rehab, they both came to my crib and stayed with me for a few plays. To DDP Yoga. Rebuild Diamond." So I don't know. Maybe we'll see him doing some DDP yoga to help out his neck injury. But wishing him a very speedy recovery. And moving on to the next star, we have former WCW and WWE star Scott Hall is on life support for 3 heart attacks he suffered last night, according to PW Torch. So Hall went under hip surgery last week and then suffered a serious setback when a blood clot had gotten loose. And Hall was a multi-time WWE Intercontinental Champion, and during his run with WWE, he was portraying the bad guy, Razor Ramon, and he was also punished as a main event star back in the mid-1980s when he teamed up with Kurt Hennig in the AWA, which is kind of crazy. And Scott Hall was arguably one of the biggest stars in WCW, forming the Outsiders with Kevin Nash, helping to elevate the company to what it became. And Hulk Hogan later joined these 2 men, which is kind of crazy. And then they created the NWO. So yeah, fun fact of the day. Didn't know that. And next thing we've got is the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame 2020. So their induction weekend will be August 26th to 28th of this year. And I kind of interesting because I feel like there's been a lot of Hall of Fame this past couple. We had the ROH Hall of Fame. We had the WWE Hall of Fame. We have now the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. What are we missing? I feel like we've got all the Hall of Fames in the past few weeks. Got a comment here from Manuel. He says, "Good morning, Lexi." Good morning, Manuel. How are you? And back to this. Oh, Joseph. Good morning. Good morning, Joseph. How you doing today? So this is the second of their Hall of Fame for the International Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. And so we're going to see people like Steve Austin, Mildred Burke, Dory Funk Jr., Carl Gotch, Jim Londos, and Billy Robinson. So definitely stay tuned for that. Still a long time to go because, we're in March. This is in August, but it's a good thing to keep it in mind. Manuel says he is doing good. He's outside with his dogs. That is cool. it's a nice day to be outside. Alrighty, guys. So keeping it in there's a lot of injuries and kind of health issues, which is a little bit of a bummer. So our girl, well, it's not really our girl, but Carmella, she suffered a wound to the head at last night's WWE live event in Columbus, Georgia. So as you could see here, she posted this. You could see the damage that was done to her scalp. And so Carmella was a part of a 6-woman tag team match following alongside the WWE Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and her fellow women's tag team champion Queen Zelina and Doudrop to take on Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. So despite the advantages, Carmella's team ended up losing to the trio of Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. And Carmella posted that picture of her hair and said, "Be a lady," they said. "It will be fun," they said. So it looks as if what happened was a part of her, let's pull this picture back up so we can fully look. A part of her extensions were actually pulled out alongside with her actual like hair. So she's just got a big chunk missing, and it had caused bleeding, inflammation, and just overall not fun. And even just somebody like pulling on your hair accidentally is painful. So yeah, I wish her the very speedy recovery. Hopefully her hair grows back fast. I know us girls were like, our hairs are, at least me, my hair is my like prized possession. I love my hair. So this must be a really big deal for Carmella. So hopefully she gets some hair growing back soon. And what else do we have from you guys in the comments here? Oh, yeah, that looked rough on Carmella. It did look pretty rough. And yeah, like I said, hoping that she gets better soon and she will grow that hair back. So keeping it in the WWE realm, we saw the in-ring return of King Woods, aka Xavier Woods, and the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch also returned. And so Woods actually suffered an injury to his plantaris muscle. I apologize if I'm not saying that correctly because I don't, I don't know the correct terminology when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, she suffered this injury during the street fight against SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, on January 7th, SmackDown. So Woods noted that he was expected to be taken out of action for about 4 to 6 weeks, but he hasn't been active on WWE television. And it was about a week ago that Becky Lynch actually shared that picture of her in the hospital that we showed last week. And Bianca Belair fractured her voice box during the main event and said Bianca Belair had fractured her voice box during the main event on Sunday's WWE live event, which is crazy. And we saw Lynch retain over Belair and Rhea Ripley in a I got a comment about Scott Hall. Yes, poor Scott Hall. It is such a bummer. We are wishing him the best over here. And back to our girl Becky Lynch. So yeah, it seems like there's just been so many injuries. It was later reported that Lynch was suffering a legitimate injury, and she's expected to be back in the ring about 2 weeks or so, give or take. But details weren't, fully given out. So we're just going to kind of have to wait and see for that one. But okay, guys, we have some exciting news. So Defies Wrestling Defiant Nights, they actually had it this past weekend on the 12th. And we have some results from that. So let's see here. Christopher Daniels pinned Wheeler Yuta by using feet illegally on the ropes. So, yeesh. And Danica Della Rogue pinned PCW's Ultra Women's Champion Viva Van after a facebuster to win the title. As well as Eddie Kingston, who pinned Big Damo after two back fists followed by a Sato suplex. And just crazy. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I'm sure you guys can watch it. I'm sure it's epic. I mean, from what we've seen here, I already see an illegitimate illegitimate feet on the rope, or sorry, not illegitimate. I need more coffee, guys. Illegal feet on the ropes and a face buster, 2 back fists. In addition to that, we have filthy Tom Lawler, who beat Kevin Knight by choke submission. And Lawler wants to face John Moxley on the 30th of April. So what do you guys think? And oh, it seems like Joseph actually watched the show because he says the show delivered. So I don't know. Did anybody else watch it? Let us know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear if you guys got the chance to watch it. That'd be kind of cool. And moving on. So keeping it in the, yes, Joseph, I know I have to drink more coffee. I've been up. I had to go be at the airport like really, really early this morning. So I'm sorry, you guys. Just stay with me, I promise. And so the Defy Tag Team Champions, the Bollywood Boys, beat Natural Classics. Joseph Samuel, Shaft, Eddie Kingston beat Eddie Pearl, Ricky Gibson, and Levi Cooper. And Kingston actually replaced Jacob Fatu as a tag partner. And that's all I have for the updates for Defy's wrestling event that happened this past Saturday. But Joseph said it was a great show. So if you guys want to check it out, it seems like, we gave you the results here, but if you want the full, rundown of the show, kind of get to see the full thing, definitely go watch it. And also in that April month, it's just crazy, as we know. And it seems as though there's been a ton of new names announced for WrestleCon over WrestleMania 38 weekend. So there is just so much to even begin with that it would take, we'd probably be there all morning talking about all the new people that were added. So if you want to go look it up, you could just go to www.wrestlecon.com, get a chance to see all of the new names that got added. And I'm sure at least one of you guys are going to be at WrestleMania week. So you'll definitely get a chance to check that out. And that is it for our Fight Buzz. Let's get into today's morning jab. Alrighty, guys. So WWE has changed Pete Dunne's name to Butch. Yeah, Butch. So Pete Dunne is now named Butch, and he is on WWE SmackDown. And a new report has some details on the reaction backstage to the change. So, as noted, he actually debuted as Butch, and he was positioned as like an ally of Sheamus and Rich Holland on the show, and joined in on their feud with New Day. And according to Fightful Select, the word started going around backstage like Friday afternoon that something, quote unquote, very dumb was planned for the show. Everybody's like, what could that be? Not knowing that it was going to be this name change. And the side notes were that the wrestlers outside the company that knew about the name change on Thursday, and there were some that were speculating that it was going to be like Bushwhackers related rib, as like Rich Holland's real name is Luke, and like another WWE alumni thought that it was like likely to reference to Butch from Little Rascals. So I'm not too sure. I don't think it's the best name. I just don't feel like it fits him, and it doesn't really like it. It's just, I don't know. It just Pete Dunne and Butch, like, oh yeah, go Butch. I don't know. It's just not vibing with me. And does he look like a Butch to you? I don't think he does. But yeah, give me your opinion in the comments below about what you think about his name, because it's a little bananas. And John said Butch is a very poor choice. It's like a chimney sweep. Agreed. It's a very poor choice of name. So kind of wondering who made that decision. Starting to think that maybe they don't like him, whoever made that decision. There's so many names that they could have picked, and Butch just seems like a very strange one. But Joseph said the name will take getting used to, but it's not a great idea. Yeah, I'm sure in a few weeks we'll be like, Butch did this, Butch defeated him, and it's gonna flow much easier. But for now, Butch just doesn't seem like it's flowing. Like it's not really working out for me. the name Butch. And kind of just insane, like, who names somebody Butch? But I'll digress on this one, and I think that it's some time that we move to some fluffy news. Alrighty, guys. AEW's Danhausen is now being featured in his own YouTube series sponsored by AEW called Hey Ill. The debut episode includes Danhausen and the host, RJ City. So the debut episodes include Danhausen and him, and it's going to be basically like bickering back and forth between the two of them about the show, going live. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, going live. And RJ then asked Danhausen's like numerous questions as the comedic star gives his like unique, silly little responses. So I feel like it's kind of like a interview type situation that we're getting with this show. And at one point, RJ notes like how many people have asked Danhausen, is he a gremlin? Is he a vampire? Is he a ghoul? They don't really quite know. What is he? Is he a ghost of wrestling? So Danhausen interjected and said, yes, only could say I'm a ghost of wrestling's past. I was a legend. Yes, a technical master. So just a little snippet into his new wrestling series or YouTube series. So definitely check that out. It's called Hey Ill, and it's on the AEW's YouTube channel. So the former ROH star actually recently joined the roster of AEW, but is currently out of action due to an injury he suffered on Halloween night. Spooky. And he broke his leg during a match. Ooh, very spooky. And which he's been rehabilitating ever since, which is crazy. Like all of these injuries, I feel like have just kind of sprung on us. But I guess when you're fighting for a living and beating the crap out of people for a living, you might get a few scratches or legs broken here and there. I think it's kind of inevitable, but yeah, just absolutely insane. And I think it's time we move on to some Keeping It Strong style. Alrighty, guys. NJPW star Minoru Suzuki has been announced for another Game Changer wrestling event. GCW revealed on social media yesterday that Suzuki will face Blake Christian at GCW Paranoid on April 9th. Minoru Suzuki is set to face Chris Dickinson at Josh Barnett's Bloodsports 8 and Effie at Joey Janela's Spring Break. So that's exciting. And both of the events are actually part of GCW's The Collective 2022. And the 2022 edition of The Collective will be taking place from March 31st up until April 2nd. And GCW Paranoid will also be available to stream on Fight TV, so you won't be missing it if you're not at WrestleMania. And other matches of the event include AJ Gray versus Swerve Strickland, Bussy versus the Briscoes, and Chris Dickinson versus Masha Slamovich. I believe that's how you say his name. So Joseph said, interesting opponent for Suzuki there. Yeah, definitely interesting. And that is going to happen. I mean, I can't believe we're already middle of March. So all of this craziness of WrestleMania is really happening within, the next 2 weeks, which is insane to believe. I feel like when we first started talking about this, it felt so far out in advance, and now it's here. It's basically like next weekend, and it's insane. John Woodmass said, Danhausen is very unique. He is very unique. When I first started watching AEW, I kind of was a little bit confused about his character because I never saw him fight, and he only ever come out and do his little evil curse, and I honestly think that now it's just like a little funny bit that he comes out every so often, and I like his character, honestly. I think it's hilarious. But unfortunately, that's all I have for you guys today. Please let us know in the comments down below if there's anything that I missed or anything you guys still want to chat about before I head out. Someone commented, Danhausen is amazing. I agree. Danhausen is amazing and quite hilarious. So yeah, definitely check out his new series that he's got on YouTube. I'm sure that it's a lot of fun. I'll check that out today and let you guys know how that ends up going. But like I said, thank you guys so much for tuning in for today's episode of Kickass and Coffee. And hopefully we're back on tomorrow with Lady J. Please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, for some more Fight Kitties videos, you can click that link down below. And until next time, you guys, I'm Lexi. Bye.